Okie dokie. Ah, it does look good. Ah, dollop of cream on there. Oh. Today I'm attempting to make a homemade pecan pie, a proper authentic one, so I hope that I do a good job here. And this is genuinely for our Boxing Day dessert. I don't know what you call it in other countries, but Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, in a few days as I film this video, where we basically all just fight each other. No, that doesn't happen, but genuinely I wanted to do something a little bit different, and it was actually inspired. I watched Forrest Gump and they mentioned pecan pie in it, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna make pecan pie and we're gonna have that the day after Christmas Day. So this better work. I'm gonna make it completely from scratch. I could actually cheat and just get some ready-made store pastry. I might regret that, but there's only one way to find out. As a British person, pecan pie, I mean, I've heard of it, I've seen like visuals like this. I mean, hopefully it will look a little bit like that by the time we're done. You kind of get a sense of what it is, but you can't really get it here. Even the word pecan, I remember when I was in America, someone was like, pecan? Do you mean pecan? So pecan pie, we're gonna have a go. Why is pecan pie so popular? Apparently it's due in large part to the successful marketing efforts of Caro syrup, which is a corn syrup. I'm using golden syrup today, which is a nice substitute. One of the strongest suits of the pecan pie is its mouthfeel. Ooh. The multitude of layers and textures range from delightfully crunchy to luxuriously smooth and work together to create a mouthfeel that is simply superior. What a lovely summary. So pecans are native to North America, particularly in the Mississippi River Valley, and apparently years ago with tribes, they were used a little bit like seashells. I'm not sure, they used to use that as currency for trading. They held that much store of value. Imagine going into a shop now and trying to pay someone with pecans rather than money. That would be nuts. What had once been a regional treat with modest sweetness quickly turned into the decadent, sticky sweet dessert that is now a staple at holiday tables across America. And if we do this right on my Boxing Day dessert as an optional bonus, and of course, if this works at the end, I am gonna be serving it on Boxing Day with a little wedge out of it because we are darn right gonna taste it. Right, first step, homemade pastry. Can I just say before I do this, I absolutely detest making homemade pastry, but I wanna put the effort in, all right? So right here, I've got a bowl with some plain flour in, we've got some salt and some sugar. So here is our fat, the butter. So what we want to do is, like you normally rub with your fingers and thumbs. I've told you how much I hate that over the years. And this is where this pastry blending tool that I found works an absolute charm. The food processor would do all of this for you, but this is just going to work that fat into the flour. So the person that told me about this gadget all those years ago is an absolute legend, because it has made me want to make pastry at least 10% more. But of course, like I say, if you just want to buy it from the shop, I have got no problem with that whatsoever. If it's like for a birthday party or something, you just want to make something in a hurry, always buy the store-bought puff pastry. But this is fun. I've got quite a bit of water here to one side, but I'm just going to add just a splash. That has bonded together really well. So this is where we need some extra flour. Hey, mum. Hey. Sorry. Nice and gentle. It is going to be super delicate. That's why if we roll it too much now, it could all break. And it's the fridge where it'll give it some strength. Of course, the bigger you make it, the more space you're gonna need in the fridge. I've almost got some pizza dough there, but that is hopefully gonna be enough. I'll roll it out a little thinner to fit in our flan tin. So this is going in the fridge for about 30 minutes. The largest pecan pie in 2012 was 50 foot in diameter. And there's a few different variations. There's a standard one, there's a chocolate one. We're doing a bourbon one. Locals sometimes add jalapenos or hot sauce to their pies for a sweet and spicy twist. I think if I did that on Boxing Day, my family would kill me. If any of you guys have tried that, let me know. Okay, I've just preheated my oven. It's very nearly done. The dough is out the fridge. About halfway through, I rolled it out a little bit. It's nice and cold and thin. Here is my flan tin. Loose bottom to make it a bit easier. I'm not gonna grease it. Make sure you give it loads of slack. And if you're not entirely sure about it, you can put it back in the fridge. Oh, it wants to crack a little bit, but that's where it's flaky. But what I like to do is lift it and really tuck it in here to kind of make sure it gets right in that groove. Otherwise it could sort of shrink. And I'm just gonna snip around the edges here to make it a little neater. All this faff, and like you can just buy it in the store. I totally get why pre-made pastry is so popular. It's something quite nice about putting the effort in there and making your own pastry, 100%. It smells nicer, it smells fresher, I can't explain it. And you can kind of feel it softening up as you do this, so I would recommend that you chill the pastry again. So what we've got here is a little bit of an overhang, and I'm gonna keep that just to give us a little bit of slack. So what you do as you do that, it might try and break. Just pinch it back together to give it a little bit of solidarity and work all the way around the pan, okay? So you've got like a little bit of a lip on it. Like I said, this is just more like a peace of mind thing, because like if you wanted to, just get a rolling pin and just roll that now and it would look amazing. It just gives you a bit more slack in case it shrinks. But just for the time being, even though my oven is ready, I'm gonna put this in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Next thing we're gonna do is help to weigh it down with some baking beads. Never used to do this, but by putting baking parchment down along with your baking beads, it should stop it looking like it's been attacked by a load of golf balls. So in that goes for 20 minutes. I'm so like, I don't know, when it comes to pastry, so like, oh my gosh, is it gonna work? I'm not doing anything else until I know that's baked through after the 20 minutes. All right, folks, about 2 minutes left to go, and I'm not completely happy with it. It's fine, and I won't fully know until I get it out of the oven. So I quickly whipped together another pastry. This is in a much fatter dish, so rather around the edges of that loose bottom tin, which is sharper. I mean, it is more of a flan tin, so it probably doesn't help. This has got a much more of a flat edge. This is like more of a traditional pie dish. So this recipe really should taste good, because I could end up with 2 bases now, because it is genuinely for an event where family will be eating it. I want it to be good. So let's have a little look at it, see what we think. If not, we've got the other base that another 20 minutes we can bake that up. Oh. Ah, see, it is good. It is good. You know, it's a little bumpy in places. As it cools down, that will firm up. I mean, what I think I'll do is bake the other one anyway. We can work on the filling whilst that one's baking and then make a call which one we want to use. I mean, this would absolutely be fine. I mean, it's dropped a teeny bit here and there. It's a lovely flaky pastry though. So we'll get these beads out and bung these in our other one. This one, I've just made some indents around the edge with a fork. It's the same size. It doesn't look it. Like I say, I'm literally covering all bases, but I want it to look good. Okay, so the filling is gonna have pecans in it. I've got a bag here of pecans. I don't know why, but they kind of look like insects, but hey, I've got to try and ignore that. The other half of the pecans, and someone was extremely insistent on this. They messaged and said, Barry, if you are doing a pecan pie, you must cook some of the pecans in the oven to really bring that flavor out. So these ones are actually going to go into the pie filling itself. We'll get them baked once that pie crust is done. It is looking really good. These ones don't get baked because they will go on top. Okie dokie. Ah, it does look good. Ah. But I don't know actually, hang on. Whilst that one's been baking and this one's cooled down, I actually really like this one. So I think I'm going to persist with it. In other words, I might be making apple pie. Okay, did I just make another pie base completely unnecessarily? Yes, that might be the case. However, the oven is still ready for these. Pecans roasting in an open oven, closed oven. We've got enough time just to start making this custard. So we've got a large mixing bowl here, 3 eggs. We don't need to like whisk it until it's foamy or anything apparently. It just gets beaten together. Vanilla extract, salt. I was highly recommended to add in bourbon. Ugh. Yeah. We've got some brown sugar. And this is where I'm using golden syrup, but corn syrup is actually sold in my local supermarket. And I went there and they just didn't actually have any, which was a bit annoying. So golden syrup is an adequate replacement. Maybe everyone's having pecan pies this Christmas, I don't know. Now, the nuts that are in the oven, which are starting to smell really fragrant, so I'll get them out now. And what we can do now, whilst they're cooling down, is just lightly bash them into smaller pieces. I wouldn't leave them whole because that'll be like quite a bit of bite. When you like bake them, it softens them up. They've got like this lovely delicate crunch to it. This real deep roasted charness, but it's like the flavor profile is like quadrupled, so thank you to the person that insisted I do that. Because now it's cooled down, well, I've let it cool down. I guess we don't want it to go in there whilst it's still warm from the oven. The hot pecans could potentially cook the eggs, and we don't really want that. Fantastic, this is our filling. Look at this. It does look like insects in gravy. Sorry, America. See, the one thing I like about this first crust is it was sharp. See how it has sunk a little bit there on the edges where it's just been like boom. And genuinely, it's all fallen off the sides. I had to clean out my oven. But what I kind of like is where some of this is still flaky, and that's again, that buttery pastry. This custard could actually lock it together. So let's pour it in. Oh my word, look at that. Oh, That's very cool. Just let it find its way, but you can see how that crust now looks so much better, and this is going to bond and literally hold it. So this is where our other pecans come in, lie them on top, I guess in any sort of design we want really. I don't know how crazy people go with this. I think you do give it a darn good coating. I apologise if you have a nut allergy, this is probably not the recipe for you. It's fair to say there are a lot of pecans in this recipe. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm quite proud of myself, that looks alright. This now gets baked for a massive 50 minutes. Okay, randomly, I've just done my Instagram story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, if you ever want to know when I upload a new video, I always do a story every time I do it. So in that goes for 50 stonking minutes, and I've got a bit of tidying up to do. I'm so excited for how this is going to turn out. Please work. Oh my word, the timer has just gone off. The golden colour on that, the smell. I span it around once, but other than that, 50 minutes non-stop. The crust has gone golden brown. I've actually just brushed some of it up onto the surface of it. And it has said it would do this, that it's gonna puff up, can you see? However, as this cooled, apparently it should shrink down, which I'm kind of gutted about, but yeah. Now we have to wait an insane amount of time for it to cool to room temperature. And then it's got to set after that. Look at the golden colour on it though. Even where the pecans have been exposed, we know what that does to the flavour profile already for the ones that are already in there. It did say if it starts to catch along the crust, if it starts to burn, you could put foil over it just to prevent that so it still keeps baking through, but I'm really proud of this. It's been quite a journey. Sure enough, it has been about half an hour and already those cracks have sunk back in. It was like raised up before, it's now gone flat and they've kind of all merged together. I didn't realise that was the thing that was going to happen, but I'm not against it, and the smell is phenomenal. So yes, this now has to go and set in the fridge for 2 hours, ideally even longer than that if you can. I just want to get a slice out of it to show you guys and actually taste it, because if it tastes how it smells, it's going to be a very good day and worth all this effort. Okay then folks, it has been 2.5 hours. That's a long old wait. It is nearly 5 PM, but check this out. Let me just show you that. Look at that, it's all gone back down fairly flat like that. It was all bumpy before. I loved that it was puffed up, but then like I was told, the cracks would appear. They have, and they've now sunken back. It's got a fantastic, like super caramelized, sugary scent in here. As the rest is for a couple of days time, I'll have a tiny slice now and see what this is like. So if we just pop this down, come on. Oh look, you can actually see where some of that filling has penetrated through the pastry slightly, but the wall has held strong. Oh, I'm so excited. Like when I did the biscuits and gravy video, you guys gave me so much feedback on this. I'm not sure right now what feedback I've done right or wrong, but as I loosen this off, oh come on, yes! Woohoo! Like the way I've done these channels as well, I think I can probably get a good knife in there. Okay. Oh, right, I need to move the rest of it out of the way. I love how the custard is kind of set, but you've got all these like pieces of pecans already that we've done from before. Dollop of cream on there. Oh, I am so proud of that. My first ever pecan pie. Mmm. Oh my word. That filling is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's nuts in every sense, but like, although there's so many pecans in it, the ones in the middle have kind of become this sort of like more, almost like caramelized banana pieces. It's bizarre. The topping is quite clearly pecans. They've been roasted too, but there's this delicate, sweet custard-like, but with texture and depth. That caramelization, that roasting we did, I don't know if that made the difference. Absolutely phenomenal, like super comforting. I think this is more popular at Thanksgiving. Obviously in the UK we don't celebrate that, but I can definitely say we will be serving that on Boxing Day when we have our fights. And yes, the honey versions, the maple syrup, even the jalapeno as I taste that right now with the hot sauce on it, part of me would like to try it, but the other part of me is so proud that we've made that work. Proper wintry, autumnal comfort vibes. And perhaps to some people over the pond, quite a standard recipe, but for this British guy trying it for the first time, I'm so glad I did, and I really think you should too. So I'll type the recipe up in my own words with some hints and tips that I've found. Maybe I'll mention about the jalapenos too if you want to feel brave. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you later. Ciao for now.